This is the Radio Realtors.
I sold the house.
This is a home. This is a place to live. This is a place to live.
Northern California's longest running show on real estate.
Real estate is not just buying and selling houses.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent? Real estate agent?
I love real estate.
Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it.
The Radio Realtors.
I love every second.
Now, here's your host, Robert Lewis with eXp Realty.
Let's go and sell some homes.
Hello, everybody. You're tuned in to the Radio Realtors, Northern California's #1 real estate radio show. We're coming to you live and in person from the EquityProtect.com studios, and you've worked hard to build the equity in your home. But did you know that criminals can steal it without you even knowing? Sophisticated thieves, they create fake paperwork, place fraudulent liens on homes, and even foreclose, stealing your equity and leaving you with absolutely nothing. And most services only monitor your title, alerting you after the damage is done. And if you just want monitoring, Equity Protect will do that for you for free. But if you want real protection, you need Equity Protect's full protection program. They prevent criminals from accessing your title so they can't steal what you've worked a lifetime to build. Get protected now with your free risk evaluation at the website equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com. Or you can call them at 888-213-2959. That's 888-213-2959. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit equityprotect.com or call 888-213-2959 and secure your home's title today. And I've got a great show for you today with the following topics. Number 1, we're going to discuss how to be your own superhero as a home buyer. And number 2, 6 signs a house is a money pit. And we've also opened up the phone lines. If you'd like to call in and ask your questions, you can reach us at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. So this is another action-packed episode of the Radio Realtors with eXp Realty. I'm your Cape Crusader of real estate, Robert Lewis, flying high with the power of knowledge and negotiation, and armed with my trusty utility belt full of home buying wisdom. And folks, whether you've dreamed of leaping tall interest rates in a single bound, or smashing through credit hurdles like the Hulk, or speed running your way into escrow like the Flash, today's show is tailor-made just for you. Because on this episode, we're revealing how to be your own superhero as a home buyer. And that's right, you don't need a radioactive spider bite or billionaire tech to win in today's real estate market. All you need is the right mindset, the right guide, and hey, that's me, and a set of 7 amazing home buyer superpowers that will help you crush the competition, protect your investment, and land your dream home. So get your cape ready, because we're about to activate your inner real estate superhero. Are you ready? Well, here we go. Superpower number 1 is the X-ray vision of budget awareness. And just like Superman can see through walls, you need to develop X-ray vision, but for your finances. So before you look at a single listing, you need to see the price tag to the true cost of home ownership. And that is your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, your HOA fees, maintenance, and utilities. And here's a pro tip. Don't just get pre-approved. You want to get RWA certified, but you also want to get pre-educated and know your debt to income ratio like Batman knows every street in Gotham City. And you want to sit down with a mortgage advisor and get a full breakdown of what your monthly payments are going to really look like. Because in this game, the hero with the clearest vision wins every single time. Now, superpower number 2 is the shield of pre-approval. Captain America's shield, it's strong, right? But not as strong as a mortgage pre-approval letter in a bidding war. And if you're going into battle, also known as a red-hot real estate market without a pre-approval, you're like Bruce Banner showing up before he turns into the Hulk. And that's not exactly super intimidating, right? So why does this matter? Well, pre-approval tells sellers that you're super serious, and it makes your offer as solid as vibranium. It shows you're not just browsing, you are ready to buy. And remember, I am so strong, I just knocked the handle off my chair, folks. You're wondering why I paused there, but that was weird. I literally just knocked the handle off my chair in the studio. But so what I was saying is pre-approval tells sellers that you're serious. It makes your offer solid, and it shows you're not just browsing, but you're ready to buy. And remember, pre-qualification is not the same as pre-approval. One is a guess, the other is a guarantee. And I'm hoping that there's a guarantee on this chair. So let's see. I've got time for at least one more. Superpower number 3 is the spider sense of market timing. You know, Peter Parker always trusts his spidey sense, and you should too. And that's intuitive awareness, that little tingle in the back of your mind or on the back of your neck that says, now's the time to act. That's your market sense, and it's totally vital. And here's a real life example. Right now, Northern California's market is kind of stabilizing in many areas, and inventory is creeping up, and sellers are a little bit more open to negotiation. So waiting too long might mean missing out on better pricing or interest rate shifts. But jumping too soon without doing your paperwork, that's like swinging through the skyscrapers with not much of your web fluid left there, right? And here's the deal. You need to trust your instincts, but back them up with the data. And your Radio Realtors real estate team here with eXp Realty and the Robert Lewis Real Estate Group, we track the trends so your decisions aren't based on panic, but precision. Now, superpower number 4 is the utility belt of home inspections. You know what makes Batman so effective? It's not superpowers. It's preparation, right? That dude has gadgets for everything. And you need that kind of arsenal, especially when it comes to home inspections. What do you need? Well, you need a trusted home inspector. You need a sewer line inspection, a roof assessment, a foundation check, a pest inspection for dry rot, termites, and things like that, and an HVAC evaluation. And it might seem like a little overkill, but skipping the inspection is like going after the Joker without checking your grappling hook, right? So you want to protect your investment, and you want to arm yourself with knowledge. Now, I've got time for one more superpower, and that's superpower number 5. And it's the super speed of decision making. The Flash doesn't just sit around overthinking his next move. And in a competitive market, neither should you. Once you find the one, that home that checks your boxes, fits your budget, and gives you that, magical feeling that it's time to move, well, it is time to move. And here's the warning here. Analysis paralysis is the kryptonite of home buying. And sure, you want to think things through, but don't lose a dream home because you needed 48 hours to sleep on it. With our team at the helm, we'll help you make quick, informed decisions that are both smart and speedy. And fast doesn't mean reckless. It means you're ready. And we have had people call our show, and before the show was over, they were pre-approved for a mortgage loan, and they could go out that same day or the very next day shopping for homes. And we've literally had somebody call in, get pre-approved that day, out the next day, and in contract before that day was over or the next day. So within a couple days, you could already be in contract on a home, and our lenders can close in 10 to 21 days, and they do it routinely. So it doesn't have to take forever to buy a home. Like I said, you can be speedy about it, but that does not mean reckless. We make sure that we do the right things for you and with you. And once again, you can get a hold of us here at 833-32-RADIO to ask your questions. It looks like the phone lines are lighting up in the studio here, but don't go anywhere. We are the Radio Realtors, coming back with real questions from real potential home buyer superheroes like you. We'll be back right after this on the Radio Realtors. Hey folks, it's Robert Lewis here with the Radio Realtors, and when it comes to home loans, there's one guy who knocks it out of the park every time, and that's Jeff Compton with Guild Mortgage. Jeff's not just your average mortgage guy, he's a certified mortgage planner with over $1 billion in funded loans since 1990. Whether you're a first-time buyer stepping up to the plate, refinancing for a better rate, or investing in your next property, Jeff's got the game plan. He's Sacramento born and raised, and like any good coach, he puts your goals first with honesty, integrity, and the hustle to get your loan closed. So if you want a mortgage pro who plays hardball for you, call Jeff Compton at Guild Mortgage today at 916-765-2900 or visit him online at jeffcompton.com. This guy's got a passion for helping clients and a batting average you can trust. Tell him Robert Lewis sent you, because in this market, you need a heavy hitter on your team. That's 916-765-2900 or jeffcompton.com, NMLS ID number 298997.
After a long week, you finally got some time to yourself. Shouldn't you spend that time having some fun rather than attacking that DIY list? We think so. That's why we recommend Purpose Property Solutions. They're the ultimate affordable handyman service. They do junk removal, hauling, handyman electric, plumbing, interior and exterior home repairs, painting, tree removal, and so much more. Call Purpose Property Solutions today at 916-798-7705. Get your weekend back. Call 916-798-7705.
Dennis Prager here. You've heard me say that the more you appreciate what you have, the happier you will be. I also think you need to protect what you have. Did you know that last year, 1 in 10 Americans was targeted for real estate fraud? Imagine waking up one morning to find that all of your hard-earned equity has been stolen. There's a company that I endorse that stops these crimes from happening to you. That company is Equity Protect. And the truth is, if you own your own home, mortgage-free, or you have high equity, you should have Equity Protect. Right now, Equity Protect is offering my listeners a great deal, 30% off your first year. Just go to equityprotect.com/Prager. That's equityprotect.com/Prager. Use the discount code Prager30. Once you have Equity Protect, you don't even need to check. You can trust the team at Equity Protect.
Welcome back to the Radio Realtors with Robert Lewis from eXp Realty. If you'd like to talk to Robert directly, call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. And now, here is Robert.
All right, welcome back to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the equityprotect.com studios. And most homeowners, they don't even realize that title monitoring services only alert you after fraud has already occurred on your home. And you know, folks, that is simply just too late. At Equity Protect, they don't just monitor, they prevent equity theft and title fraud before it can happen. And that means no unauthorized loans, no financial transactions taken against your property, just real protection for your home and your financial future. You can protect your home now by going to their website, equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com, and take action today before the criminals do. I'm Robert Lewis, your real estate professor, and we're continuing the conversation with how to be your own superhero as a home buyer. And I'm going to give you a quick overview of what we've already covered, and then I am going to take a few phone calls from you potential superhero home buyers. So superpower number 1 was the X-ray vision of budget awareness. And just like Superman, he can see through walls and things. Well, you need to develop X-ray vision for your finances. And that's where you know the true price tag of the true cost of a home, your principal and interest part of your mortgage, your taxes, insurance, HOA fees if you have it, maintenance and utilities. And thanks, Matt, for fixing my chair, but I still think that this thing is pretty wobbly, right? The pro tip on that is don't just get pre-approved. get pre-educated and get RWA certified. And RWA certified is basically credit approval, and that means you are ready to go. And our favorite lenders, they can get you to that point where your offer and your loan is just as good as cash in many cases, because in this game, it's all about having that clear vision, and it is all about having the preparedness, right? Now, Superpower number 2 is the shield of that pre-approval. I'm not going to go into all the details on pre-approval, but you've got to have a great lender. I will tell you, having a great lender is sort of like Batman had Robin, right? Well, he had a sidekick. Well, your sidekick is the one that's going to help you, and your sidekick is not necessarily your realtor in this case. It is your mortgage lender. I can help you in many ways, as far as things go, and I can be one of your sidekicks, but it's good to have multiple sidekicks when you're looking at buying a home. And Captain America had that strong shield, but it's not as strong as a mortgage pre-approval letter when it comes to a bidding war. Now, superpower number 3 is the spidey sense of market timing. And Peter Parker, who is Spider-Man when he's a civilian, well, he has that spidey sense that he trusts. Well, your market sense is knowing what and when to act, right? And right now in Northern California's market here, our housing market is sort of stabilizing. So sellers are open to negotiation somewhat, and waiting too long might mean that you miss out on better pricing or even interest rate shifts. So if it was me, I would trust your instincts and back them up with data, and give us a call right now at 833-32-RADIO. Let us help you get into the game and get a great deal this spring or early summer, right? Now, superpower number 4 is the utility belt of home inspections. And you got to have a trusted home inspector. You probably should, depending on how old the property is, have a sewer line inspection, a roof assessment, foundation check in some cases, definitely a pest inspection, and most definitely an HVAC evaluation, because those are big ticket items. And it might seem like overkill, but like we said, it's like if you skip the inspections, it's like going after the Joker without having your grappling hook in order, right? So arm yourself with knowledge. Now, superpower number 5 is the super speed of decision making, because once you found that house that checks most of your boxes, it fits the budget, gives you that magical feeling that you just love, well, analysis paralysis can kill like kryptonite, right? So don't lose your dream home because you needed 24 or 48 hours to sleep on it. Like we said, fast doesn't mean reckless. It means prepared, and it means that you're doing the right things at the right time. Now, let's go. It looks like we've got line 1, and we're going to go for some real questions here from real potential homebuyer superheroes. And it looks like we've got John from Roseville on line 1. Can you go to that line there, Matt?
Hey, Robert. I've been looking at homes on my own for about 3 months now, and I always hesitate when it's time to make an offer. How do I know when I found the one? I don't want to make a mistake, or worse, get stuck with buyer's remorse.
That is a great question, John, and you're definitely not alone. That hesitation, it's what we call the home buyer freeze. And it's like trying to suit up like Iron Man, but you're stuck on the loading screen, right? And here's the deal. You won't always get fireworks and a voice from the heavens saying, this is the one, where the angels are singing. But there are signs, right? It meets your must-haves, the house. It fits your budget. You can visualize yourself living there, right? You feel a mix of excitement and a little nervousness, and that's normal. What you don't want to do is let fear keep you from action. That's why super speed decision making is so important. You've got to be ready, decisive, and confident, especially when the right opportunity shows up. And that's where I come in, folks. You shouldn't be out looking at homes on your own, all by yourself. With Robert Lewis here and the Radio Realtors team with eXp Realty, we'll help you recognize the right home, analyze it quickly, and guide you so you don't second guess yourself. So when you find the right one, John, you don't panic, you power up. Would you like to talk after the show?
I would really like that. Thanks, man.
That works, John. Hey, Matt, make sure you get John's number so we can call him back. And we also need to send him out one of our Radio Realtors coffee mugs, which makes any beverage extremely better. So let's talk about superpower number 6, and that's the Hulk smash of negotiation strength. And when it comes time to negotiate, whether it's price or repairs or contingencies, you need to channel your inner Hulk, right? Smart smashing is what we call it. We're not talking about angry smashing. We're talking about strategic strength, emotional control, and knowing when to hold firm and when you gotta bend. And remember, every seller has pressure points. Every market has leverage zones. Every counter offer is sort of like a puzzle to solve. During Easter Sunday, we always hide eggs. Well, the Easter Bunny hides the eggs, right? And he has his pieces of a puzzle that's like a 10,000 piece puzzle. And then the whole family gets in on it, finding the eggs and finding the pieces of the puzzle. And usually we finish before the end of the night. I don't do it that much because it just frustrates me. But like I've said, every counter offer in a real estate transaction is a puzzle to solve, just like when you're trying to solve a puzzle on Easter Sunday. Now, with the Radio Realtors on your side, me, Robert Lewis, you don't just negotiate, right? You dominate. And trust me, you don't want to go into that ring without an expert. You got to have somebody by your side, because this is where a lot of home deals crumble. Now, superpower number 7 is the cape of confidence. Every superhero has a cape, but the real function of a cape, it's confidence, right? The ability to rise above fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Because buying a home is an emotional thing. It's an emotional time. It's exciting. And yes, sometimes it's terrifying, but fear doesn't just get to run the show here, right? You need to believe in the process, in your decisions, and in your real estate team. So how do you get it, right? Well, you need to educate yourself. You need to work with professionals, and that is us, Robert Lewis here with eXp Realty. And you also want to take calculated risks and celebrate the small wins along the way. The confidence cape isn't given, folks. It is earned. And every step you take in the right direction helps it to grow stronger. And by the time you're holding those house keys in your hand, you're not just wearing the cape, you are flying, my friends. Hey, Matt, it looks like we've got a call on line 2. If you could bring that up. It looks like on the call screen it says Jess in Elk Grove. Hey, Jess, thanks for calling the Radio Realtors. So how's it going today?
Hey, Robert. I have a question. How do I compete against cash buyers? I feel like they're always swooping in like Iron Man with unlimited funds, and I'm still working on my pre-approval.
That's a great question, Jess, and you're right, because cash buyers are definitely a thing. But even Iron Man can be outmaneuvered with the right strategy, and here is how you win, Jess. You want to get pre-approved with one of my trusted mortgage lenders. You also want to offer clean terms, have fewer contingencies, write a compelling buyer letter. Yes, emotional connection still matters. And yes, sometimes they won't take those letters, but I can craft it into the offer where I'm telling them about you. You also want to work with a team that knows how to package your offer so it stands out like a bat signal, right? Like Batman's bat signal. You may not have Tony Stark's money, but you've got heart, and you've got us on your team, and you've got strategy that wins every time.
Hey, thanks, Rob. I'll leave my information with your producer, Matt.
No problem, Jess. And make sure you get Jess's number so we can send her out a Radio Realtors mug there. Okay, Matt? Thanks. So here's a wrap up, folks. Let's review hero to hero. To be your own real estate superhero, you need X-ray vision of budget awareness. You need the shield of pre-approval. You need spider sense of market timing. You need a utility belt of inspections. You need super speed of decision making. You need Hulk smashing negotiation strength. And you need the cape of confidence. And you don't need to wear tights, folks. You don't need to be from Krypton. You just need to be informed, decisive, and ready for action. And remember, every superhero has a sidekick. Let me be yours. I'm Robert Lewis with the Radio Realtors with eXp Realty. And whether you're buying or selling or just exploring your options, I'm here to guide you faster than a speeding bullet to the right move. Call me right now at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Or you can visit me online at radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com. And you don't need to wait for someone to save you. With the right tools and the right team, you're the hero that you've been waiting for. And you can hear us same bat time, same bat station. This is the Radio Realtors, and we'll be back right after this.
AC heat and plumbing, you just call Lee's. It's easy as calling Lee's. Lee's AC, Lee's AC, plumbing and heat, yeah.
Robert Lewis here from the Radio Realtors, and when your home's HVAC system stops working, it can be a real shock, a shock to your wallet. That's why I'm a member of Lee's Air Club Advantage HVAC Maintenance Program. This program is designed to keep your heating and cooling systems working at top efficiency all year around. For just $24.99 a month, Lee's gives you priority service, a 26-point precision tune-up twice a year, safety checks, air filters, indoor air quality tests, and more. So if you want peace of mind when it comes to your HVAC system, sign up for Lee's Club Advantage at leesair.com. That's leesair.com.
AC heat and plumbing, you just call Lee's. It's easy as calling Lee's. Lee's AC, Lee's AC, plumbing and heat, yeah. Lee's AC.
Hey friends, it's Robert Lewis with the Radio Realtors and eXp Realty, and today is one of my favorite snack-themed holidays. It's National Pretzel Day, and now here's a fun fact. Back in 610 AD, an Italian monk whipped up the very first pretzel as a reward for children who learned their prayers, and he called them pretiola, little rewards. And if you're looking to buy a home this spring, you deserve a reward too. But let's be honest, today's real estate market can feel more twisted than a soft pretzel at a baseball game. Competing offers, rising rates, confusing paperwork, it can leave your brain more knotted than the snack itself. And that's where I come in. I'm Robert Lewis with eXp Realty, and I'll guide you through the home buying process with the care of a monk and the precision of a baker, so you can find the perfect home without getting twisted up. Call me today at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO, or visit radiorealtors.com, and let's turn this market into your little reward. DRE number 0140-6275. Rob here, reminding you that you can hear all of our shows on the Radio Realtors podcast through Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora, and more. Please give the Radio Realtors podcast a 5-star review and share the link with your friends. Access it now at radiorealtors.com.
Welcome back to the Radio Realtors with Robert Lewis from eXp Realty. If you'd like to talk to Robert directly, call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. And now, here's Robert.
All right, welcome back to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the EquityProtect.com studios. And home title theft is real, folks. It's on the rise. Criminals forge documents, steal your title, and take loans against your home without you even knowing. And in some cases, they just sell your property right out from under you. And most title monitoring services only do that. They monitor only, alerting you after the fraud has happened. And that is too late. Equity Protect is different. They prevent title fraud from happening, and they lock down your home's title with bank-level security. Equity Protect has a patented title lock technology, and you can think of it like putting a deadbolt on your home's title. No one can access it without your direct approval. Get protected now, or get your free risk evaluation at equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com, or you can call 888-213-2959. That's 888-213-2959. And don't wait until it's too late. Go to equityprotect.com today. I'm Robert Lewis, your real estate professor with eXp Realty, and right now we're diving into a topic that every home buyer absolutely needs to hear. It is 6 signs a house is a money pit. Now, if you've ever seen the 1986 comedy The Money Pit with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long, you might remember just how hilariously tragic things got for that couple. And What started as their dream home, it quickly turned into a renovation nightmare with collapsing staircases, flooding bathrooms, and enough chaos to make you cry or laugh or both. But here's the deal. That wasn't just Hollywood fiction, folks. Real life money pits do exist, and unfortunately, they don't come with a laugh track at all. And that's why I'm going to arm you with 6 major red flags to look for when you're buying a home, whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned investor, so that your next house doesn't end up being a bottomless pit for your cash flow. And of course, if you want to avoid money pits altogether, you can call me directly at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO, because I specialize in helping people like you find homes that are high in value, not in repair bills. So let's get started. Sign number 1 that a home could be a money pit is below market pricing. Is it too good to be true? Well, let's be honest. Who doesn't love a bargain? Everybody does, right? But in real estate, a deal that seems too good to be true is often exactly that. And here's what's happening behind the scenes. When a house is listed significantly below the market average, it might be because the seller knows that costly problems are hiding just below the surface, and they're hoping the price alone will distract you from digging too deep. And in the industry, we rely on comps, and that's short for comparable properties. And we use these to help determine what a home is actually worth. So if all the neighboring homes are selling for about $550,000 and this particular home is listed for $465,000, you've got to be asking some questions. Well, one would be, why is it so much lower? A desperate seller? Maybe. But it could also mean serious structural issues, outdated systems, or unresolved permits that will become your financial headache and heartache later. So the bottom line is, don't let sticker shock cloud your judgment. If the price is low, start looking high and low for what could be wrong. Now, sign number 2 that a home could be a money pit is mild neglect. The little things say a lot. And let's talk about this mild neglect. Sometimes the home isn't in total disrepair, but there are subtle signs that tell you the owners haven't been staying up on things. We're talking about peeling paint, cracked drywall, overgrown landscaping, broken screens, dingy baseboards, flickering lights, or even outdated switches. Now, 1 or 2 of these might be cosmetic, but when you walk into a home and it's a parade of tiny red flags, well, that's not just bad staging. It's an indication that major systems like plumbing, HVAC, or electrical might have also been neglected. And think of it like Batman spotting a trail of clues. I know we just talked about being your own superhero, right, when you're home buying, but it's the little things that lead to the bigger truths. And if the owner hasn't fixed the loose banister, did they really stay on top of their roof maintenance? Well, the bottom line is neglect breeds expensive surprises. So keep your eyes wide open and don't fall for it just needs a little love if it really needs a lot of money, right? Now, sign number 3 is uneven floors and cracks. And this is the foundation problems alert. And this one is huge. It's big, it's gargantuan, it's monumental. If you walk into a home and the floor feels sloped, bouncy, or just kind of squishy or off, it might be your imagination, definitely could be, but it also could be a sign of foundation problems. And let me say that again, foundation issues are most of the time a major money pit territory. I remember one time during the foreclosure and short sale crisis, I went and did a broker's price opinion on a house, and they had the bathroom. It was a 1-bathroom house, and the bathroom was closed and it was locked, and it had like that tape where there was like a homicide, like don't go in here. And I said, hey, I need to go in here and take a photo of your bathroom. And they go, well, you're not going to like it. And I go, why? And they go, well, because the toilet has fallen into the crawl space. And so I did go take a look at it, and it was disgusting and crazy. And that was a foundational issue and a plumbing issue all in one. But It was crazy, and these people only had one bathroom, and I didn't know. I guess they were going to the neighbor's house in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. That is a great neighbor if you can find somebody that will let you do that. But here's what you want to look for when it comes to foundation issues. Uneven flooring, especially in basements or first floors, stair step cracks in brick or stucco, gaps between walls and baseboards, and doors that stick or won't close properly. And any of these could indicate that the foundation is shifting or has already suffered structural damage. And here's the kicker. These things are not DIY weekend projects, folks. Foundation repair can cost tens of thousands of dollars. And guess what? A bad foundation also affects things like your plumbing, your windows, your roofing, meaning one issue triggers a domino effect of repairs. So the bottom line is a shaky floor today might mean a cracked wallet tomorrow. So get it inspected before you fall in. And that is both literally and financially. Now, sign number 4 is discoloration. And water damage doesn't lie. Water is supposed to be in your pipes, not in your ceiling. And discoloration is a silent but deadly indicator of water damage. And it shows up in places like ceiling stains, brown rings on walls, warped wood floors, flaking or bubbling paint. These things might seem like small cosmetic issues at first glance, but they almost always point to bigger issues: roof leaks, bad plumbing, mold, or even dry rot. And here's a warning: the bigger the house, the higher the price tag on those water damage repairs, especially if mold is involved. And I've seen homes where mold remediation alone cost over $50,000, and you add in drywall repair, roof patching, and new floors, and suddenly that affordable fixer-upper is a full-blown money pit. So the bottom line is, if you see discoloration, dig deeper. Water damage is never just a surface issue. Now, we've got to go to break. If you'd like to get a hold of me, Robert Lewis with the Radio Realtors, give me a call. I'm just a call away. I'm your friendly realtor that you hear on the radio. Why not work with me? Why not work with the expert that's on the radio? Because you can, and I will work with you personally. 833-32-RADIO is my number, 833-32-RADIO, or you can live chat with a member of my team anytime of the day or night at radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com, and they will get you back in touch with me ASAP. Don't go anywhere. We are the Radio Realtors. Hey folks, it's Robert Lewis here with the Radio Realtors, and when it comes to home loans, there's one guy who knocks it out of the park every time, and that's Jeff Compton with Guild Mortgage. Jeff's not just your average mortgage guy. He's a certified mortgage planner with over $1 billion in funded loans since 1990. Whether you're a first-time buyer stepping up to the plate, refinancing for a better rate, or investing in your next property, Jeff's got the game plan. He's Sacramento born and raised, and like any good coach, he puts your goals first with honesty, integrity, and the hustle to get your loan closed. So if you want a mortgage pro who plays hardball for you, call Jeff Compton at Guild Mortgage today at 916-765-2900 or visit him online at jeffcompton.com. This guy's got a passion for helping clients and a batting average you can trust. Tell him Robert Lewis sent you, because in this market, you need a heavy hitter on your team. That's 916-765-2900 or jeffcompton.com, NMLS ID number 298997.
After a long week, you finally got some time to yourself. Shouldn't you spend that time having some fun rather than attacking that DIY list? We think so. That's why we recommend Purpose Property Solutions. They're the ultimate affordable handyman service. They do junk removal, hauling, handyman electric, plumbing, interior and exterior home repairs, painting, tree removal, and so much more. Call Purpose Property Solutions today at 916-798-7705. Get your weekend back. Call 916-798-7705.
Hi, this is Brandon Tatum, host of The Officer Tatum Show. As a former police officer, I know the importance of trusting the people that you work with. And that's why if you're planning on selling your home in Northern California, you want realtors who got your back. Call my friends Rob Lewis and Frank Crandall from the Radio Realtors and eXp Realty. Check this out. Kat and Carl had to sell their home in Roseville and move to Ohio for work. They needed their home sold quickly to buy their next home. And because Rob and Frank spend thousands of dollars on marketing each month, they have a pool of buyers that are ready to buy. Rob and Frank sold Kat and Carl's home in Roseville for $20,000 over list price. Plus, Plus, they referred them to an agent in Ohio through their nationwide network of realtors and helped them get a great deal on a home there too. Don't wait. Sell your home today for top dollar. Call Rob and Frank, the Radio Realtors with eXp Realty at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Online at radiorealtors.com. DRE number 0140-6275.
Welcome back to the Radio Realtors with Robert Lewis from eXp Realty. If you'd like to talk to Robert directly, call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. And now, here's Robert.
All right, welcome back to the Radio Realtors, Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, coming to you live from the EquityProtect.com studios. And most homeowners don't realize that title monitoring services out there only alert you after fraud has already occurred, and that is too late. At Equity Protect, they don't just monitor, they prevent equity theft and title fraud before it can happen, and that means you've got no unauthorized financial transactions taken against your property, just real protection for your home, your financial future, and your legacy. Protect your home now. Go to equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com. And please tell them that the Radio Realtors sent you. My name is Robert Lewis, your real estate professor, and we're talking about 6 signs a home is a money pit. And we're going to quickly recap the first few signs. Sign number 1 is below market pricing. Is the pricing too good to be true? I mean, if all the other homes in the area are priced at $550 and this one's priced at $465, well, that could be a major indicator that the home has some issues. So too good to be true pricing usually means it's too good to be true. Sign number 2 is mild neglect. The little things say a lot. Peeling paint, cracked drywall, overgrown landscaping, broken window screens, dingy baseboards, flickering lights. And the HVAC is just like so old, it's rusty and it looks like a bucket of rust. Well, those things might be cosmetic, but they also might mean that there's some issues with those things. And more often than not, it's the little things that say a lot. Now, sign number 3 is uneven floors and cracks, and these are what we call foundation problems. And uneven flooring, like if you take a golf ball with you to a house, you know, you're in an area where that has hardwood floors or whatever, and you put the golf ball in one section and it rolls over to the other side of the room, well, that probably means that there's foundational issues. And sometimes you can totally feel it when you walk in a room, and sometimes, especially on a raised foundation, but sometimes it's just a very slight thing, right? But sloped floors could mean that you have a problem with the foundation. Now, sign number 4 is discoloration, and we're talking about water damage. And water is supposed to stay in your pipes, right, and not on your ceiling. And you can see discoloration. And sometimes I have a client that had his roof cleaned, and it was growing moss on there, so he was getting it sprayed off by somebody. Well, they did the spraying so hard that they actually got water under the flashing and it dripped into the master bedroom, right? Well, he never fixed it because it was not an issue for him, and it was just a temporary thing until it dried. That's not really an ongoing issue. It just needs to be repainted and fixed that way because there's not an active leak. But active leaks will do terrible things to your drywall and your ceilings and things like that. So you want to make sure that if you see ceiling stains, brown rings on walls, warped wood floors, flaking or bubbling paint, that there might be a big issue there. Now, sign number 5 is strange odors, and you want to trust your nose. I always tell my clients, if your nose wrinkles, walk away faster than the flash, right? A good real estate agent and a good buyer uses all 5 senses, but smell, that's the underrated superhero power when it comes to detecting a money pit. Common warning odors include musty or earthy smells, possible mold there, right? Damp basement, scent, or maybe there's like a damp, like attic scent, and that could maybe mean that there's moisture issues. Stale cigarette smoke. It's hard to remove that from drywall and HVAC. However, I have a great company called Smoke Busters that can do it. But that's a tough thing in many cases. But these guys can actually eliminate that smell from a house, and they do a great job. The other thing for me is strong pet odor, and that is either cat or dog or both. And that could maybe mean deeper issues in your carpet or even your subflooring, especially with cat urine. And sometimes sellers will try to mask these smells with candles or air fresheners. But I got to tell you, folks, trust your gut and trust your sinuses. And the bottom line is a fresh coat of paint can't hide a funky smell forever. If the home smells like trouble, it probably is trouble. Now, sign number 6 is insect damage. And these are the unwelcome tenants, right? Last but not least, let's talk about the bugs. Termites, carpenter ants, rodents. They're not just annoying, they are destructive. And if they've made your future house their home, it's probably going to cost you. And here are a few telltale signs. Buckling or hollow sounding wood, tiny holes in walls or baseboards, piles of insect wings near windows, rodent droppings or chewed wiring, mud tubes along the foundation, and those are a sign of hello termites, right? And here's the scary part. Most pest damage is hidden. By the time you see it, the problem could be much worse inside the walls or the attic, and that's why it's critical to bring in a pest inspector, especially in homes over 20 years old or located in wooded areas. The bottom line is you're buying a house, not an ecosystem, right? If the bugs got there first, you might be in for a costly eviction process. But I will tell you, it's not the end of the road if you have termites or something like that. It just depends on the damage, and there are safe and ecological ways to take care of those guys now, much better than in the past. I remember when I first started in real estate about 20-something years ago, it was a death sentence a lot of times for a transaction if you had termites. It's no longer like that with orange oil and these different things. It's something that can be done and done safely. Now, let's talk about a couple of bonus tips. Well, bonus tip number 1 is you need to hire a great home inspector. Now that we've gone through the 6 signs of a money pit, let's talk about how you protect yourself even further. Hire that great home inspector. Not all inspectors are created equal. You want somebody certified, and you want someone who works for you, not the seller. Sometimes sellers are smart and they get these inspections done themselves. And if they list with me, they certainly do. And those are good inspectors. So they're good quality inspectors that you can trust. But sometimes sellers take the cheap route and they get somebody that is working for them only and not for you as a buyer. And, you can take a look at their inspections. You still might want to get your own done. But ask them to check your foundation and your roof, your plumbing and electrical, your attic or crawl space, and check for mold, dry rot, and pest issues. That's things that you want your inspectors to do. It's not just a formality, the inspection, right? A great inspector could save you tens of thousands of dollars or steer you away from a home that looks great on the surface, but is crumbling underneath. I had a client once and we found this home and it was a flip, but we had the inspection done and there was so much wrong with that home. They had put on the roof wrong. And as soon as they had a big rain, that was going to be a disaster. And so my clients said, you know what? If they're not going to fix that roof, we're not going to move forward. And then we decided there was a lot of things that it looked great from the outside, but it was like putting lipstick on a pig on this case. So if you work with me, though, Robert Lewis, I've got a list of the best home inspectors in the region who always go the extra mile. Because when you're investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, you need a superhero team around you. Now, bonus tip number 2 is do your homework. You're allowed and encouraged to ask questions about the house. Is it in a flood zone? Has it changed ownership a lot? Were there ever insurance claims? What's the seller disclosures say? These aren't just nosy questions. They're smart questions, right? A little research now can save you from disaster later. And you want to trust but verify. That's the superhero mantra of smart home buyers. Now, let's kind of wrap things up here. And let's face it, buying a home is one of the biggest purchases that you're going to ever make. And in a fast moving market, it's easy to get swept up in the excitement, but don't let a beautiful backsplash or staged living room fool you, right? Use your head and your eyes and your nose and surround yourself with the right team. And to recap, the 6 warning signs of a money pit are below market pricing. Number 1, 2, signs of neglect. 3, uneven floors and cracks. 4, discoloration from water damage. 5, strange odors. And 6, insect or pest issues. And avoiding these can save you from years of financial frustration and regret. But the absolute best way to avoid a money pit, that's my question to you, is to call me, right? Robert Lewis with eXp Realty. I'll help you identify solid properties, connect with trusted inspectors, negotiate smart, and most importantly, help you buy with confidence. Call me right now at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO, or visit us at radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com. Let's find you a home that builds wealth, not drains it, right? This is Robert Lewis of the Radio Realtors, and remember, when it comes to buying a home, don't just wish for a dream. Let's make it happen without the nightmare. You can get a hold of me once again, 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Take care now.
AC, heat, and plumbing, you just call Lee's. It's easy as calling Lee's. Lee's AC, Lee's AC, plumbing and heat, yeah.
Robert Lewis here from the Radio Realtors, and when your home's HVAC system stops working, it can be a real shock to your wallet. That's why I'm a member of Lee's Air Club Advantage HVAC Maintenance Program. This program is designed to keep your heating and cooling systems working at top efficiency all year around. For just $24.99 a month, Lee's gives you priority service, a 26-point precision tune-up twice a year, safety checks, air filters, indoor air quality tests, and more. So if you want peace of mind when it comes to your HVAC system, sign up for Lee's Club Advantage at leesair.com. That's leesair.com.
AC, heat, and plumbing, you just call Lee's. It's easy as calling Lee's. Lee's AC, Lee's AC, plumbing and heat, yeah. Lee's AC.
Hey friends, it's Robert Lewis with the Radio Realtors and eXp Realty, and today is one of my favorite snack-themed holidays. It's National Pretzel Day, and now here's a fun fact. Back in 610 AD, an Italian monk whipped up the very first pretzel as a reward for children who learned their prayers, and he called them pretiola, little rewards. And if you're looking to buy a home this spring, you deserve a reward too. But let's be honest, today's real estate market can feel more twisted than a soft pretzel at a baseball game. Competing offers, rising rates, confusing paperwork, it can leave your brain more knotted than the snack itself. And that's where I come in. I'm Robert Lewis with eXp Realty, and I'll guide you through the home buying process with the care of a monk and the precision of a baker, so you can find the perfect home without getting twisted up. Call me today at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO, or visit radiorealtors.com, and let's turn this market into your little reward. DRE number 0140-6275.